Today, I want to share with you the story about a guy by the name Tzachi Cohen. Now I can say the Tzachi Cohen. Tzachi Cohen was born in the north of Israel and raised in the north of Israel, not far away from the Sea of Galilee. When he was 17, he had a dental operation that went wrong and got complication of infections and eating flash bacteria, and it turns into a nightmare for him personally, where he was admitted to hospital for a long time, very severe pain, on heavy painkillers for a long time, even restrained to a wheelchair at a certain point. Very traumatic for a young guy. A few years later, he went to England and tried cannabis for the first time. And that was a very life-changing moment for him. All of a sudden his body relaxes, he feels better, he was not in pain anymore. The trauma was kind of like erased during the time, and at the same time he was like, this is what I want to do, this is what I need to do. The fact that marijuana is so helpful for people like me, and he go back to his mom and he said like, Mom, I want to be a drug dealer and I want you to be my partner. His mom is a biology teacher, and lucky for her and for him, she said, I thought marijuana is the worst thing on this planet. I had those like judgmental view of marijuana, but he was so convincing, he was so full of passion, I couldn't say no. And she started helping him. So on their porch, in their little village, they start growing marijuana. Later on, they got a permission to grow 100 plants for medical purposes, to deliver it to patient who needs help with medical cannabis. And he started a company called Tikkun Olam. Tikkun Olam is a Kabbalic term that basically says fixing the world, in a very generic translation, fixing the world. And that's what he was doing. He was so convinced that this is the right thing. He didn't have a business model at the time. He just knew it's probably going to be huge one day. That's what he keeps saying. This is going to be bigger than Google. He was absolutely sure about it. And the fighting with all the skepticism that saw him like a weirdo drug dealer. He went to the Knesset, to the Israeli parliament, to try to convince the people who were like legislating the industry that this is needed, that patient needs that. And everybody basically laughed at him and said, no way. Nobody took him seriously, but he never gave up. And he rented an apartment in Tel Aviv, and that apartment became the Mecca for all the patients, post-trauma, chronic pain, old people, amputated, everybody, cancer, everybody comes to him, and he gave that away for free. For 4 years. 4 years, that was all he was doing. One person who knew him at the time, described a scene where he's sitting in front of an old guy in really bad shape. The guy was like severely sick, in lots of pain. His head is like on his chest, saliva, dropping from his mouth. Not a pretty sight. And Tzachi was sitting in front of him and very gently inhale the cannabis to the old man's mouth. And he said, gradually you can see how the old man lifts his head, open his eyes, smiling a little bit, feel a little bit relief from his pain. That's his story. The dedication, the belief, and nothing else. No business plan at this point, no any guarantee. Just burning more and more money and time, because he believed one day this is going to be huge. And not only that, it wasn't about the money. He believed that he is doing the right thing. And guess what? 2 weeks ago, MedRelief was bought by Aurora, 2 Canadian companies. And MedRelief, he has 10% in MedRelief. and he is worth now $250 million. $250 million. What is the lesson from this story? When you have the motivation, when you have the dedication, when you have the faith in something, regardless of the business plan, the numbers and everything, and when you have the vision to see that one day this is going to be big and you see it before everybody else, that's when you become a winner. This is the story of Tzachi Cohen. Adios. If you like what you see, please click on the left to subscribe. And if you feel you have chutzpah, check out some more Joe Mogul videos below.